Now, on the other hand, I can make an argument that it was a goal.
Griffin, can you make, what side are you on of this? Can you make a case for or against?
I think it was a PK. I think there was the deliberate motion by Finley to move the ball out to the left. And I think on slow-mo, you can kind of see Bush moving his body towards the direction of the ball. I think the reason why there is so much debate is because it was such a poor play by Finley.
Yeah, yes.
I think it kind of does show the one dimension to his game.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Darwin would have chipped him and we wouldn't even have this conversation.
That's right.
Right. Finley should have done better.
But Finley had many options, and it was a bad touch, and so I think the doubt comes from that play he had. But I think the refs made the right call.
Yeah,
and they did review it.
And I was going to say, make no mistake, they did go to VAR on that,
right.
and VAR came back and confirmed and affirmed the call on the field, and it was a PK.
And I'll to the day I die say that wasn't a PK. I just don't.
But you made the comment that you've seen very similar plays not get called a penalty, though.
I have.
Yeah. So, but I guess,
and it's because he played that ball out. I've seen it a number of times. You have to have the ball at your feet.
Yeah,
I mean, if you play it out 5 yards, you're not going to get that ball.
Well, even VAR, it's not a robot reviewing this play. I mean, there's a
and I mean I've seen a lot of saltiness from Montreal fans.
Oh yes, very salty.
And all of their arguments are based on the charging argument.
Yeah.
And I mean Bush was definitely set, but I don't know that. I mean, with the flick, it makes the argument that Finley wasn't charging him, right?
So we get it. We pretty much, if you listen to Montreal fans, we got a gift.
Right.
We go into halftime 2-2.
Yeah, which is where you want to be.
Which is where you want to be.
Yeah.
And now your hope is you can just kind of hold them off for the rest of the game and get a tie out of this, because how the flip are we going to win this game in Montreal?
Exactly. And I would like to point out at this point that I said in our texts that Adrian Heath needs to bring Miggy in for Finley.
Yep.
And he needs to bring Molino in, needs to bring in what's his name, Dotson in,
yes,
for either Martin or Shulin.
Yep.
And what did he do?
He does it
in, I don't know, was it
70th minute. A little later than we wanted.
Later than we were expecting.
Later than we
were
expected.
maybe in the 60th minute, when he usually would make the moves that you see he's doing.
So I would just like to point out, this is like the third time this season that I've correctly said what Adrian Heath would do.
I swear you got like a bat phone to Adrian Heath.
Right.
That's the deal.
And I liked the move for Angelo for Toy late. I know things like you're up a goal, why striker for striker, but I think because we were up a goal and Angelo can retain possession, it was kind of a time waste.
A hold-up guy. He's a hold-up guy.
But at the same time, I was really hoping that Toy would be able to pull off that hat trick.
Yeah.
Good point.
Would have been awesome.
Good transition. Yeah, because going back to Toy, because it was an early goal to start a half.
Yeah, that's right.
47th minute, actually, he got his brace. And Griffin, I know you mentioned it, but I don't know, what were your thoughts? Like the touch, the finish, what was...
I think it proved that the first one obviously wasn't a fluke. He didn't get lucky. I think the chemistry between him and Molino was perfect, and I totally believe that they had a pregame conversation, like he said, postgame. And it was, you did not think that he was a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
In the MLS.
He looked really good in this game. I mean, he looked like he belonged on the squad moving forward.
I think I had a tweet. I said something like, I was today years old when I found out that Mason Toy is a starting striker in the MLS.
Exactly.
Right.
That was a good comment.
In Major League Soccer even, acknowledged his talent. They said the new, the headline was the new forward phenom or something.
Yeah, forward phenom. Yep.
I mean, he's making an argument to have to sit a DP, in all honesty.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I really, really love Angelo's hold-up play, but you got to go with the hot hand, right?
Yeah. And on the hold-up play, I think it's super frustrating for American soccer fans because I don't think it's really a strategy that's been utilized in the league very much.
Not at all.
And because he's kind of like your old school big number 9, and I think it's one of those things where when it doesn't work, every fan is like, "Why is this guy on the field? This doesn't work. He's giving the ball away." But then when it does work,
like,
then it's like, why doesn't everybody in the team have an Angelo?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like unbelievable. So it's just so night and day.
We've talked about this on the podcast before with Angelo, people getting pissed off about the hold-up play. It's not working. He's holding on the ball too much, and it doesn't. When it works, it's beautiful. When it doesn't work, people who don't know the game very well, they get all upset because they're like, well, this is stupid. Why
Well, and I'd even add to that, when it works, sometimes it's super ugly.
Yeah.
Like it's last night was a good example. There's a point where he was on the far sideline, and he held it. He literally just held the guy off, and he had the ball under his foot, and he stood there for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And to wait for the team to get up. Now, unfortunately, it ended up getting turned over on like the second pass. But my God, he just wasted 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
that could have been 3 seconds setting up for a free kick.
Yeah.
Could have been 3 seconds of somebody running into the box. But no, he literally stood there and held off his defender with the ball perfectly calmly sitting at his foot. I mean, it's incredible.
I look at his hold-up play like in NHL, like board play in NHL.
Right.
Guys who hold up on the board, that's part of NHL. You're trying to either waste time or get somebody else to get towards the goal and do something.
But it's not pretty.
It's not pretty, but it's effective in NHL, and it's effective here when it works.
Right.
So him coming in at the end, I kind of figured that was the deal. They just wanted to waste time, and that was the right move to make, I think.
Now, we need to go back a bit. What about the non-PK?
I know I knew you were gonna bring that up.
The potential handball in the box. I don't even remember which player it was.
Was
I
it?
think it
Was it Miller?
It was Miller.
It was Miller, yeah.
So I looked at, to me, I think I said in our text, I didn't even think it hit him.
Yeah, I acknowledged that it did, but I can see why you could maybe think that, or at least I thought it did, and that's what
I
my
think
reply
it was like a
to
double
you.
bounce. It hit his arm, or it hit his chest and went off his arm as it was.
But you talked about it. It was certainly unintentional, and number two, he wasn't arms out, making himself bigger. I think he was normal. His arms were relatively inward; they weren't going out.
Yep.
If Tommy Thompson's goal is a goal, then there's no way that that's a PK on the other end.
Yeah,
I think it was mirror plays, like on different sides of the ball.
Yeah, yeah, good point. And I think the little bit of the controversy surrounding that was the fact that the stadium in Estad Saputo was they were showing these replays.
They kept showing them.
Almost as much as we saw at home. They showed it at least twice, and the crowd was going nuts.
And Heath was pissed.
Yeah.
Did you see the point where Heath was yelling at their one of their assistant coaches, and then the coach of Montreal saying, "Why do you keep showing it on the damn board?
And
Don't
didn't the
show
ref
it."
come over and have to?
Yeah, had to calm down. So, good deal.
And I think we had the discussion about that.
Yeah,
And it's like, it's nice to see the replays, but if it's going to be something controversial, make it after.
Right.
And I said, I want to be informed.
yeah.
They don't even do that in Major League Soccer.
No.
If it's going to be controversial, don't show it. If it's going to go to VAR, then let us see it after VAR's made the decision.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, or let us see it after, if there's no VAR, after play's completely resumed and there's no chance that anything's going to change. Then let us see it.
And what did I say yesterday in our text? I said, refs are human.
Right.
You keep showing those replays, and the crowd starts getting all riled up and pissed off. Sometimes refs will change their mind on the fly. They'll be like, yeah, that's a penalty because the stadium's telling me it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Feel
change
the
it.
need to make up for
Exactly,
it later.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Exactly
Yep.
right. So,
And I kind of wonder, this is my last point of this game, I kind of wonder if he didn't try to make up for it. Because they added a minute onto the extra time.
And then some.
There was there was supposed
no
to be
reason
there was
for it
3 added minutes, and the game finished in the 5th minute.
yeah.
There was absolutely no reason for it. There's nothing that was significant in delays during the added time.
Not at all.
He just kept letting it go.
He wanted to see Montreal come back.
And they almost did.
They
That
did.
They almost
chip
did.
attempt that Vito put over.
So we get the victory, guys. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the good part about this game is we get the victory. Even though we walked into this game not thinking it would happen because of the guys that we had in there, but I think this is a good place to stop for the half.
But so sum it up. So they just a few weeks ago they had 3 consecutive losses in league play, and now the United are coming off of 3 consecutive victories.
Right.
In
That's
MLS
right.
play.
And I would like to point out for like about 20 minutes we were in 3rd place
We were. That's right.
until Seattle
Seattle won.
stole a victory away from
So
Columbus.
MNUFC is currently sitting in 4th
Fourth place,
with
yeah.
30 points. So another big one coming up against Dallas.
Yep.
who are
And I
just
think we'll probably talk about the standings more as we broach the subject.
So when we come back from the
rotation.
break, guys, we're going to talk about the lineup we had in this last game. We're going to talk about the transfer window opening up, who we're looking for. We also have some beer talk to talk about.
Which shock, when
Yeah.
we talk about beer.
We're talking about beer at a brewery. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be back from Fair State in a couple minutes.
All right.
And we are back here at Fair State Brewing Cooperative. Griffin has decided to still join us. We didn't make him go away. I thought maybe in that first half he'd be like, "You guys suck," and he'd just want to leave. But Griffin, I think
Oh no, soccer, beer. I can be here all day.
that's how we got him out here, soccer and beer. So we are still drinking, of course, the beers from Fair State. I ended up getting it's called the BBRR, and it's their Roselle, but with blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries added to it. So it's a little more fruit flavored, which is that again I enjoy these types of beers. So Griffin, what'd you end up getting?
Did the Pale this time. Another hazy IPA, but I saw this one was a full pint, so it might last me the whole segment.
Whole second
this
half,
time.
yeah. Sterling.
I also did the Pale.
Okay.
I was telling Griffin that I like IPAs, but I don't like the bitter IPAs.
Sure.
And this is a good example of one that's pretty citrusy. It's not. I would say it's a pretty easy drinker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Could crush this.
Stevens, what you got?
I ended up going with the Vienna, and it's an amber lager. It's got a little more body to it, that as compared to the pills I had, and it's smooth. I like it. It's not something I get every day. So
Yeah, again, this place right off Central Avenue up here in Northeast, as I like to call it, little locked in just right along Central Avenue. So you really don't know it's a microbrewery as you drive by.
Right.
It's kind of one of those they put it into an old whatever this was before. Again, great brewery, great people. They've allowed us to come up here. We want to thank them for allowing us to come up here and do our podcast here because, we have, fingers crossed, we haven't had any issues yet where a brewery has said no to us.
we might have gotten a couple of non-responses.
We've had some ghosting. We've had some
Yeah.
ghosting where
Yep.
we've reached out to breweries and they've just pretty much ghosted us and said they don't care, Well, it's
Yeah.
just fine. But again, thanks to Fair State for letting us come up here. We're going to get back into some talk now about Montreal, the game against Montreal, and the lineup that we had.
Yeah, we kind of alluded to it a bit.
And I think my biggest thing with that game and that lineup was, I said it in the first half of the podcast, we wanted to win that game. I thought we wanted to win. I thought with the way the playoffs are setting up right now, with that that field of 7 teams sitting there within a couple points of each other, we needed this 3 points.
Yeah, your text actually said you were going to withhold your vitriol. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a powerful word.
I was pissed off. I was drunk, but I was pissed off.
You can be both.
I can be both. I didn't expect to drink yesterday, but I went to Dave & Buster's, and you know how that goes with me. So, when I saw the lineup, and I thought about it, I'm going, what the fuck are we doing here?
I think, Tony, you called it, is this just a throwaway game for Heath?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. It's a
And-
throwaway.
And I mean, I guess it's a little harder to sit here and complain about it now, but we will. We need to talk about.
Well, like I said on
Right,
on
yeah.
text, I'm the asshole now because I'm the guy who, in the text, was saying this is a shitty lineup, shouldn't be out there. Why are you doing this crap? We need these 3 points, and then we come out with the victory.
And
right?
yeah, I mean, certainly at least in the first 15 minutes of the game, your thoughts were confirmed. Your
Yeah,
worries were
yeah.
concerned. It was not looking good. They were looking shaky at best.
And to be fair, we looked